not going to get a second chance in the game.
All right, my name is Coach Macias. I coach the defensive line here at Elmhurst College. What I'm going to be talking to you today about is how we go about the pass rush, a little bit about how we teach it, some things that we go into with it. And one of the things I want to start off by saying is this is just a tool, what I'm about to show you, about how to get pressure on the quarterback, how to get that sack. Because ultimately, we want to get into the head of that quarterback throughout the game. Make him think about us, not the play he's trying to go into. So what I'm going to talk to you today about how we go after rushing the passer. And with that, we call it the road. So when we're talking about the road and how we're going to go about getting to the quarterback, we have our defensive end and the offensive tackle. Okay? He's going to get to his set point, which is about 3.5 yards. All right? Here's the quarterback. Here's the path, ultimately, that our defensive end wants to take to get to the quarterback. So he's going to get to his set point, and right now that offensive tackle is not in the road. Yeah, he's going to try to throw hands, and that might be in the road, but he's not in the road. So this end is going to turn into a Porsche of sorts, and he's going to go 100 miles an hour and work a speed move right towards that quarterback. All right? So we want to work our speed move here. Okay? The next part that we will see is a hip move. All right? Same kind of deal. Set point at 3.5 yards. Quarterback over here. All right? We got our road. All right? But now the offensive tackle is going to be halfway in that road. All right? This is where we want to use a hip move. All right? We want to flip our hips and try to get right through that crease, get a nice little rip going on, go get that quarterback. All right? The next part is when we want to use a power move. Okay? So we got our defensive end, offensive tackle, all right? That apex, that set point, quarterback. All right? Got our road. Now, the offensive tackle is getting fully in the road, right? And this is when we want to use a power move. We want to become a bulldozer. We want to take that offensive tackle and push him right into that quarterback, disrupt his flow as much as possible. And basically, we'll see some film on this later and get some pretty cool power moves in there. Next, and our final step in the road process for teaching is the counter move. When do we want to counter? When do we want to come back inside? You know, when is that tackle oversetting us? So we got our defensive end, quarterback, set point, got the road. All right. So now, when that offensive tackle gets past his set point and he's outside of the road, well, now there's a space inside part of the road. All right. Good point of emphasis here is, though, notice where he is compared to the quarterback. You don't want to counter too soon because what's going to happen is the quarterback's just going to flow outside. He's going to make a nice, easy pass to whatever wide receiver, running back, and then they get the first down. So you want to make sure you're at least even with the quarterback when you run a counter move. So we're going to see the offensive tackle here. He's outside the road. We're going to work a counter move. All right? So when we teach the road here at Elmhurst College to our defensive line, these are some tools that we talk about when to use our speed move, our hip move, counter, and power moves. But also, more importantly, it's a mental piece just to get to that quarterback and disrupt flow. Now we're going to talk about some film, give you some examples. Okay, so as we just saw on the board, we saw speed move, hip move, power, and counter moves. Now we're going to see it live through tape. What we're watching here is I want to talk about both defensive ends on this play and how you can use multiple moves. You don't have to be a one-trick pony. You actually want to use multiple moves sometimes in the pass rush to get after that quarterback. So first off, we want to look at the defensive end here on the right. All right, he's hidden by the running back, but look where that offensive tackle is. He's fully in the road right now. All right, so we want to work a power move. So he's getting underneath him, pushing that guy back. Now look what happens to the quarterback. He's forcing that quarterback to his left outside of the pocket. And what we're trying to do over here with the defensive end on the left, well, we're trying to work a hit move. It's not working. We get to the point of the quarterback. We're countering now underneath. All right, now we're able to make that sack, make that play happen. All right, so that's a good job by both defensive ends, working a move, working a nice pass rush, getting after that quarterback. Okay? Now the road can apply to whoever is rushing the passer also. We teach it to our defensive ends, we teach it to our linebackers. It's for all walks of life. So here on the right, we got to stand up. All right? So he's trying to work power move, not working. All right, we get to the part of the quarterback. We're getting even with the quarterback. Now we're going to work a counter move. Nice violence right there. It's perfect. Working up and over. That's a really good job right there. Basically, violence is the key. All right, you want defensive linemen that are go-getters, just want to get after that quarterback. I mean, you got to be basically a ferocious dog in a way. All right, so looking at the defensive end here on the left, he's in the road right now. We're doing a good job getting underneath that elbow. I know I'm throwing in some coaching points here, but I love what I do, so I'm going to do it. All right, so we're getting a nice power move, and not everything has to end in a sack. All right, see what we're doing here? We're pushing this offensive tackle into the quarterback, and now what's going to happen? Every single time that this quarterback sees defensive end on the left, feels a little bit of pressure from this tackle, well, now he's going to flow to the right, get a little offset, maybe not even make this throw. Okay. Looking at the end here on the left, okay, nice get off right here. We're seeing that this guy's partially in our road right now. See how we got him nice and turned, partially in the road. We're going to work a nice hip move, pulling that guy's shoulder down. Go get that quarterback. It's a really great job by the defensive end, flipping the hip, going to get the quarterback here, making a nice sack. And you always got to have a nice little celebration after too. So flipping that hip, going to get the quarterback, celebrating with some of the guys, always a good job. All right, looking at a little different team here. So looking at the defensive end here on the left, all right, it's getting off the ball real nice. See how he's not in our road. We still got a nice path towards the quarterback here, so we want to work a speed move. He's chopping down on that arm right here, coming down nice and hard. Now this is all motivation, want to right here. Just go get that quarterback. It's a nice play by that defensive end and just getting after it. Really good job here. Part of being a defensive end is just being a go-getter too. I mean, you want guys that just want to get after the quarterback. Same kind of deal right here. Now, in this situation, we're forcing that quarterback up in the pocket. Well, who's up in the pocket? You know, you may have defensive tackles working their pass rush moves and everything like that. What I'm trying to show you here is not every single time you're going to get the sack, but we're causing pressure, we're causing havoc on that quarterback, we're getting in his mind, and now we're pushing him right towards that blitzing linebacker. It's a great job by the defensive end here. Okay, looking at both pass rushers, all right? The reason why I like this play is both of them are getting after, working nice speed moves. See the road here? They got a nice pass towards the quarterback, all right? Now we're forcing that guy move out of the pocket, and we get a really nice hit here on the quarterback. It's all about getting hits on the quarterback, getting in that quarterback's mind, making him make a bad throw. That's what we ultimately want. All right. Looking at both defensive ends here, one on the right, good hip move, guy's partially in our road. We're flipping our hips, nice rip, going to get the quarterback. Same thing here on the left, he's in our road, just flipping right around. You know, most of the time, your defensive ends are going to be faster than that offensive tackle. So we just want to use our speed here, go get a hit on that quarterback. And what's going to happen throughout the game, as you get hits on this quarterback, this is what's going to happen. He's going to dirt the ball because he feels you coming after him. Feels that pressure. All right. End here on the right. Guys in our road. I mean, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is pure want to. Yeah, we want to work a power move, but not all the time, every single end is going to have every tool perfectly matched up. This defensive end here on the right is a better speed, hip move kind of guy. This is just a good job of working the rip, getting underneath that pad level. All right. This is a nice counter right here on the left by our defensive end. So he's getting upfield really hard, really pushing that weight of the offensive tackle here to his right foot. Now we're getting right underneath that shoulder pad, working our counter move because where he's oversetting in the road. He's overset. All right. This is going to be a nice power move right here. This guy's going to be fully in our road. Just go get him, right? We want to just go get that guy and unleash everything we've got into him. Get into that pass rush lane here. Get our hands up. It's a good job by our left defensive end. Sorry about that. Look at the defensive end here on the right. See how he's adjusting his own road here. He's kind of widening out, making it so that he's working what he's good at, working a speed move. See how that guy has the quick set here, try to get out there. Well, you just work a speed move, get around. All right. Now we're able to go get after the, everything's not going to end up in a sack, but we're able to help out with this play here. So just want to end by saying, really appreciate you viewers out there, really appreciate everything you guys do coaching-wise for high schoolers, for college. Love the game of football. If you need anything from me, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Here's my email. Really appreciate whatever you guys do. More than happy to help. So feel free to reach out through email. Thank you.